Welcome to the Optimized Health podcast, where we cut through the noise and give you real science backed strategies to lose fat, boost energy, and take control of your health. Most men struggling with weight loss think the problem is willpower. They eat less, work out more, but they still don't see results. Sound familiar? That's because it's not just about calories, it's about hormones. And today, we're talking about one of the most powerful fat storage hormones in your body, insulin. If insulin is too high, your body is in fat storage mode, period. By the end of this episode, you'll know why insulin resistance makes fat loss nearly impossible, how stress, testosterone, and thyroid hormones make insulin resistance worse, and the three best tests to check if insulin is stopping your fat loss, the three simplest ways to lower insulin levels naturally. Let's get into it. You've probably been told that weight loss is just about calories. But if that were true, why do so many people struggle even when they eat less, exercise more? You cannot burn fat if insulin is high, period. Your body doesn't care if your calorie tracker, macros, or your meal plan, if your hormones are telling you to store fat. And insulin is the master fat storage hormone. Think of your metabolism like a traffic light. Green light equals fat burning mode. Your body is using stored fat for energy. The yellow light is a maintenance mode. You're balancing energy use and storage. Red light is fat storage mode. Your body is told to hold onto fat. Insulin is the traffic signal. When insulin level is low, you have a green light. Your body burns stored fat. When insulin is moderate, you get a yellow light. Your body balances storage and burning. When insulin is high all the time, you get a permanent red light. Your body cannot burn fat, no matter how little you eat. And that's the problem. Most people are stuck in permanent red light. That happens when you're eating too often, consuming too many refined carbohydrates, or constantly being stressed. This is why calorie counting alone doesn't work. 100 calories of sugar spikes insulin high, but 100 calories of protein or fat, much lower insulin response. It's not just about calories, it's also about your hormones. Most people with insulin resistance have no idea they have it. If you have these symptoms, pay attention. Stubborn belly fat that won't go away, constant cravings, especially for sugar and carbs, energy crashes after meals, brain fog and feeling exhausted even after a full night's sleep, and the worst part, most doctors don't test for it properly. They'll check your blood sugar and say, you're fine. But insulin resistance starts years before blood sugar rises. If you want to actually know if insulin is a problem, here are the three best tests that you need to ask for. Number one is a fasting insulin test. It measures your fasting insulin level after 8 to 12 hours of fasting or no eating. It matters because if insulin level is high, your body is storing fat even if blood sugar is normal. The optimal range for fasting insulin is under 5 micro units per milliliter, which is great. 5 to 9 is early insulin resistance, and a fasting insulin above 10 tells me that your body is in fat storage mode. The second test is called the HOMA-IR test, which is a homeostatic model assessment of insulin resistance. It's a more accurate test than just checking blood sugar, and it accounts for both fasting glucose and fasting insulin. The optimal range for the HOMA-IR test is under 1.0, and that means that your insulin sensitivity is great. 1.9 to 2.9 means you're early insulin resistance, and anything above 3.0 means you're stuck in fat storage mode. The third test that I recommend is called the Dutch test. This is an advanced hormone panel. It's important because insulin resistance doesn't happen alone. Other hormones make it worse. The Dutch test measures cortisol, which is the stress hormone. If cortisol is high, insulin resistance is worse. The second test is testosterone and DHEA, which leads to low testosterone, which leads to more insulin resistance, which leads to more belly fat. The third thing it measures is estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance leads to higher fat storage, especially in men. If insulin is keeping you stuck, here's 3 ways how you can fix it. Number 1, stop snacking all day. Every time you eat, insulin spikes. If insulin never drops, you never burn fat. So instead of snacking all day, I advise you to try 2 to 4 bigger portions of meals but make sure you control your calories to make sure you're not gaining the wrong kind of weight. Number two is prioritize protein and healthy fats with your meals. Carbs spike the insulin the most. Protein and fat have a much slower insulin response. Eating whole foods and prioritizing protein and healthy fats keeps insulin levels low. Number three, try intermittent fasting or time restricted eating. Spacing out your meals allows your insulin levels to drop naturally. Fasting for 12 to 16 hours actually gives your body time to burn fat instead of storing it. So a simple way for intermittent fasting is to pick an 8-hour time period where you're going to be eating all of your meals, whether it's 2, 3, or 4 meals. And when you're fasted, make sure you prioritize water, maybe black coffee, and maybe unsweet tea, just to be able to control the cravings better and also keep you well hydrated. The final takeaway is fix your insulin and fat loss becomes effortless. If you've been doing everything right, but you're still stuck, insulin resistance might be the real problem you're facing. Have you ever had your fasting insulin or HOMA-IR tested? Or did your doctor just tell you your blood sugar is fine? Drop insulin in the comments below. I read every single one. And it's important to know that you'll never be 100% perfect every single time. But if you work on being good 80 to 90% of the time, majority of the time, you will get majority of the results. But as long as your other days don't lead you too far on the other end, meaning you overeat on the days where you taking a break from your diet, then you should be able to recover from that. Thanks for tuning in to the Optimized Health Podcast. If this episode helped you, don't forget to follow, rate, and leave a review. And if you're serious about getting your health on track, click the link in the show notes to book a free consultation. I'll see you next time for more science-backed strategies to help you burn fat, boost energy, and optimize your life. Peace.